guys, welcome back to the Man United Agenda. It's Tuesday night and it's fight week. Obviously, we're playing Liverpool at the end of the week, so the build up for that is a massive derby. It is the derby, I believe, the best game of the season in the Premiership, no doubt about it. And joining me today, who's back from vacation, and everyone will be happy to know because everyone's been asking for you. It's bath time. Bath time. How are you, my friend?
It's a sad day. Like, I haven't felt this bad since Danny Welbeck, to be honest. But I went to Yorkshire for a wedding, and I had a very fun day, and it got even more fun because Dora messaged me and for some reason asked me to list every stereotype that I've invented about Croatia, and I died laughing for about half an hour listing them all out. It was tremendously fun, and Dora will be back. Dora will be back tomorrow. But from what you've just said about the Liverpool game, Mr. B's worked really hard in the last couple of days trying to create some kind of like font or whatever it is, like a kind of format for the watch along. We would really, I really want to push like this watch along and make it our most seen watch along, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, good idea.
I'm not like telling you people where to go, but like, if you respect Mr. B, I think it would be really nice if you could use our watch along and just, give it a go.
You know something, like Mr. B done a lot of work, hasn't he, to get this watch along right. I think the graphics look great so far. The presentation looks good. We just need to get a few other details added to it to make it look good. But I done a watch along the other day. I only had 200 views, and at one point I was doing a live from TikTok. I had 8 people watching me on Man United Agenda and 100 people watching me on TikTok. So I'm thinking, yeah, we need to step it up. And this is a great game, isn't it? To sort of really get the juices flowing and get fans interested again to watch the watch along, because it's a massive game. And we'll talk about that later in the week, no doubt about it. But big wedding you went to. Did anyone throw the bouquet in there? They throw the backwards bouquet and
yeah, Anana missed it. It came flying out. Yeah, no, they all do that, but I didn't know this because it was Sarah's friend. But they sort of like they prearrange, like it's like a set piece. Like they prearrange who they're going to throw it to, and they all have a big meeting about it.
Yeah.
But I'm naturally a very competitive person among them. Whenever they set up to throw the bouquet, I always really want to catch it. Not because I want to get married, but simply because I want to win. But I've managed to, I also do you get this as well? When they do that bit, does anyone object? Do you ever feel that thing inside you that just wants to say, I object?
That's for movies, isn't it? Or someone running in like an X or something saying, no, I object to
this.
Like,
The Graduate.
That's for the movies. I don't think that should ever happen. You should be sure by the time you make the decision to get married, you should be 100% sure this is the one, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So, and have security at the door. If you do feel that someone will be coming, make sure you hire some security to stop people coming in to mess up your plans. Do you believe in marriage, bath time?
Yes, I think that family is the institution that is most important, and is one of the, to have a good family base is a real head start in life. I think it's really important, and it's why we always talk about this channel being a family and Manchester United being a family, because it supports you and it helps you in life. I think it's one of the greatest things that humanity has come up with, the institution of the family.
That's beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
It's obviously had an effect on you. You're a changed man. You're showing your romantic side, bath time. All right.
I wouldn't be where I was in life without my family. I'd be genuinely living in a puddle.
All right, guys, 19 watching right now. We're going to come to the comments. And guys, don't forget, if you got something to say, air it in the comments, as long as it's legit and it's not going to break any community standards or anything. Air it, and we will try to read it, especially good points about Man United. A lot going on at the moment, isn't there? So just going to quickly touch on the comments. Lucky Singh in the house saying Jayden can go to Juve or stays at Man United. We don't want to swap. Big up to Shah United. How you doing, Shah United? I noticed Shah United went to Old Trafford the other week and got some great pictures with some of the new signings as well. So big up to you and your missus. Big up to Solo as well. We had a nice Nando's meal the other day. You guys saw the photos. Lovely time. And we'll be seeing you again soon, hopefully, Solo. Evening all, says Hydra. How you doing? I want to say hi to Andrew is a loser. Yab and Durad. Is that Andrew Williams?
Yeah, it's Darude. It's in Darude Sandstorm.
Okay. Big up to Connor talking smack. Says, don't care what anyone says. I'm sad to see McTominay go. I wish him all the best in Italy, no doubt about it. I want to say hi to Chris. Big up, everyone. Way to go. Bath time is back. There you go, Bath.
Hello, Chris.
See, people have been saying, where's bath time? You've gone missing a few days and people start to panic. But don't panic, guys. He's back with us. But McTominay's gone. Hala effing Uja, or whatever you say. That's from Matty Bassett. Matthew done well on his preseason friendly the other day. Big up to Simon Warner. He says, dynamic duo. I'm Batman. He's Robin. We've got Lon from France said, I will miss Scott McTominay. What will you miss about Scott McTominay? Because our guy Bath Time, this is what we've been waiting for. We want to hear his views on it because he loves Scott McTominay. So we'll be touching on that. It's big up to you, Long, from France.
It's Luan. She's a friend of Pappy's, Pappy Botswana, who I'm trying to get on the channel this week. Been in contact with Pappy, and we want to get him. We want to get him back on a little bit.
He's still probably celebrating Tobago winning the 200-meter sprint in the Olympics. Chris is here saying, so happy McTominay is leaving. Just not the caliber we need for the playing squad. Sterling, laughing my head off. He's worse than Rashford. Mr. B, Yaba, 2 extra watch-alongs so far. Thank you so much. Yeah, this week will be massive. Make sure you tune in. Welbeck is an infection we can't get rid of, says Simon. I'll be there. Thanks, Hydro. Delighted Deadwood is gone. That's Lucky Singh, who's also playing the role as Bilal. I'm joking. I think there's something going on there. 3 days left to get some Deadwood to go. Some players he wants to leave. We're going to go through all of that today. Scott McTominay would travel, 5 million medical booked, all that kind of things going on. Let's see. All right, here we go. Last wedding I went to, I got drowned, thrown to the floor, scuffling for it. Had to handle it, but couldn't hold on. That's some
amazing. I bet you at an American wedding, like when the bouquet gets thrown, it's like a clay pigeon. All the guns come out and they just start shooting it in the air.
Good one.
Thank you.
That's funny. Andrew is saying here, have you seen a viral video where the bride goes and hands it to one of the bridesmaids and their boyfriend gets down on one knee? That was cool as well. Do you guys believe in marriage? What's your thoughts? Anyone else in here? Oh, it's Mr. B. Mr. B, go and check him out. 10 o'clock tonight. He's going to be on Saeed TV and hopefully representing. I want to say hi to Super Nick as well. I saw Super Nick earlier today on TikTok. We were playing some music. And my gosh, not only is she a connoisseur of football, she knows her music like deep. And if ever I'm having a sort of quiz team, I'd have Bath Time for your Greek goddess and philosophy knowledge, and I would have Super Nick for music and sports, no doubt about it. Who else is in here? Bath Time, Super Nick saying Bath Time, Scotty will be fine, don't worry about it.
Lovely to see Super Nick again. If you could tell Cement to look at his DMs on Twitter, please, I'd be eternally grateful, because that boy can't open an envelope.
And James is in the house as well. Sterling is a better player than Rashford. Look, guys, so much to talk about. Bath Time, I want to start quickly because I haven't had your views on the game against Brighton. Obviously, we went down to Brighton Saturday morning. We played in a game. I felt we had a good chance. Well, we sort of played well in the first half. They had an opportunity. They scored. Second half, we came back into the game. We had a goal disallowed, and then they scored last minute. What I want to know from you, just to summarize, because we want to talk about other stuff as well. I want to, most importantly, who was at fault for the goals, the 2 goals we conceded? Did you see anything positive, any improvement from last year? And should that big goal be offside? So the 2 goals, who's at fault? Any positives from improvement from last year and negative as well? And the offside goal. Go ahead.
Got it.
Guys, Bath Time's view on the game. Let's go.
All right, we'll start with the offside. Tremendously unlucky, but correct to the letter of the law. It is. Like he's offside. It's something that feels unfair, but that unfortunately is the law. I don't put any blame on any of the three players involved, Bruno Xerxes or Garnacho there. It's just dreadfully unlucky. It's just part of football. Second goal. I'm really concerned about De Ligt's part in it, to be perfectly honest. If you watch when the corner comes in, we are all sort of like, we're set up for someone to win the ball at the near post and knock it to Anthony so we can get out, right? It's very similar to how Fulham set up with the Adama Traore on that side. So we've got all our best headers on that side. De Ligt, he sort of like shields his man instead of attacking the ball and leaves it to Kobe to clear. That I'm very concerned about that, Amondo. That's not a United centre-back doing that. But, you know, we'll give him the benefit of the time. Then I don't like Mazraoui and Dalot's body positions. And I hate the fact that Casemiro was being greedy rather than final destination, because he tried to go and intercept a pass rather than being, you know, part of the back three. If Casemiro is where he should be, I don't think we concede that goal. And it is worrying, the amount of last-minute goals we concede. And for the first goal, I think it's an interesting one, because I assume everyone is going to blame Maguire for this.
Not me.
All right. Well, Maguire is at fault, but it's a different kind of fault, where I think what has happened is Maguire, he's in control of the line as the sort of senior centre back there. He's too far forwards. Not much, but a little bit too far forwards. And I think he's got his bearings wrong. So that when the deep cross comes in, and you only, like, look, I like crossing a football, and there are three places to cross a football from: the touchline, middle, and deep. You only cross deep when there's space behind the defenders. Maguire's too far forward. There's too much space. But from what I saw of him, I think Maguire got his positioning wrong, and he thought he was nearer the 6-yard box, and that should definitely be Onana. Anything in the 6-yard box, Onana should come for. So I think that Maguire gets that wrong, and that error is an error that you get when people are adjusting to a new system. And I know it's 3 years, but I'm not that concerned about that error. What I'm more concerned about is the positioning of Casemiro and Martinez when the cross comes in. Casemiro is where you would be normally, but because it's an early cross and Dalot hasn't and Dalot had to go out to his man, which, by the way, Kobe wasn't great at that. Dalot was very hesitant to get out to his man because he didn't want to be 1v1 and leave that space in behind. But Casemiro needs to fill in between Maguire and Martinez obviously needs to protect the centre of the goal. And I think Onana's position is wrong. So Maguire, I think, made the first mistake by having the line too high, but it was a position that we could have recovered from. And I'm less concerned about a system error, which is having the line too far, than all the other errors that were made by Nana, Casemiro and Martinez, because to me, that's bad defending, whereas Maguire's just got it wrong. And there's a difference there. It's about principles of defending that the others got wrong, whereas Maguire got a principle of the line wrong.
You know something, like, it's like the argument with the Bible, with the Quran. They always say that the most mentioned man in the Quran is Jesus.
Can we have a different metaphor instead of like
Quran?
Quran?
True, and that's the thing. So you just mentioned, we're talking about an issue here. You've mentioned Maguire more than any other name throughout the whole thing. So basically, to me, anyone listening to this would reason that you're saying Maguire's mainly at fault. Clearly. No. Yeah, but you mentioned his name. You said Maguire. I'm gonna have to go back.
But I did.
You said Maguire.
Maguire. Martinez.
I'm saying roughly. You said Maguire about 15 times during that segment, and you mentioned Dalot once or twice, Martinez and Casemiro once or twice. So to me and anyone watching, it just seems like there's an agenda against Maguire. You know.
Amondo, you know, I have no agenda against Maguire.
I know that, but I'm just pointing out.
I've also given the things is that, like, the first thing is that is the position of the line. Maguire gets it wrong because he leaves too much space in behind. I'm not concerned so much about that because I think that there is a new system with Hake coming in. What I'm more concerned about is the basic defending errors made by Casemiro and Martinez. And also, I think that Delot, when you watch it on the replays, Delot is desperate to get out to the guy that crosses. But because a midfielder doesn't come across, which is Kobe, he doesn't want to go 1v1 because he'll get done. Like, you put yourself in a bad position going 1v1. So I think that the original error, I can't believe I'm repeating myself because the original error is made by a number 5. But the errors that concern me the most are Casemiro and Martinez. I am seriously worried about Martinez. You know, I've always felt that he's not a high-line defender. And you know I love Danny Welbeck. But Danny Welbeck was bouncing him around like a little dog all game. Like, I'm really concerned about Martinez, to be honest.
I would be too, and I'm glad you said that. You know, and the thing about mentioning Maguire's name, I just think people need to put some more respect in it. He came off the pitch. What did because you still haven't answered the other bits, Bath Time. So
I've answered them all.
To add to that, well, the other bits was any positives or any negatives from last season, because we obviously want to see some progress.
I tell you,
and while we're at it, do you think we should take a centre back off like Maguire unless he's injured, just to bring on De Ligt? Because I think Maguire was playing reasonably well at that point. But
all right. So taking the players off, like, what we have to understand is that things are in context, right? And we haven't had a proper pre-season. Maguire's been injured a lot, like Bruno Fernandes, Xerxes, all these players. They haven't had the time that they need to build their endurance for the full season, which is the 6 weeks, right? So unfortunately, we're probably going to have to take a bit of pain in the next 4 weeks so that we can end the season strong and that we can get everyone up to the fitness. Maguire, as you know, was 50-50 to start the game. I think that him and Bruno were subs that Ten Hag didn't want to make, but were demanded by the medical department. And if you remember, last season, he ignored the medical department with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and Wan-Bissaka was out for 6 or 7 weeks because of it. So that's good that he's learned. I think that when we've played Brighton before, all right, we've scored some wicked goals under Ollie against them. But with Ten Hag and with Ragnick and things, they've turned into a bit of a bogey team. I think that was one of the best performances I've seen against Brighton. I'm really impressed with Marcus Rashford at the moment. Obviously, not so much as on the ball work, but it's off the ball work, the pennies dropped. And he's really helping out. There was a moment where Martinez got beaten up by Welbeck. And I think it was Kobe who had to do a slide tackle on the edge of the box. And Rashford was the guy that picked the ball up because he'd run 40 yards to track his man. I haven't seen that from Rashford before. So, and you know, like, Andrew hates the fact that whenever I say anything nice about Rashford, I don't rate Rashford very highly, certainly not compared to everyone else. But I am impressed with what I'm seeing from him because he's working harder and he's doing well in the press. Like, so the press is better. And the positives there, Omondi, is that I think I can see a system that is in place, and it's gonna take a bit of time. The negatives are that the physical floor of our team is dropping with the new signings, and that is a concern to me, especially when you look at, like, they hit the bar from a set piece and we conceded from a set piece. And a lot of that is because we're not making first contact with the ball.
Okay. So new signings coming in, players going out. That was your assessment of the Brighton game. Obviously, no eye test because you've been going to weddings and having some time off, you know, annual leave, leaving us stranded, just me and Mr. B. But we managed, okay. Obviously, you stirred up a bit. So I want to touch on a few comments because especially the stuff, do you want to say quickly hi to Flex Felix? Just arriving. The only way Ten Hag can redeem himself for me is a convincing win. There we go again. Already 3 games in, and he's already got 1 game to go before he gets sacked, it seems. All right, let's go through the comments. Darius analysed that second goal for us, says Andrew. 100% offside. So you got an agreement there. You did say, you stated, I asked you 3 or 4 points. You said black and white, it was offside. Nothing to do with it. Talking about the goal that's disallowed. Then we talked about responsibility for the goals that we conceded. James just saying here, no improvement, same old crap. It's the ball back I was more bothered with than the first ball. So the first ball that came over, the cross into that corridor of uncertainty, Andrew hasn't got an issue with that. It's the ball coming back across the goal, which he's got more of an issue with. He's talking about a gaping hole like a Grand Canyon. Hydro saying here, Harry never knows what's going on around him. Okay. Richard Herbert, how you doing? Basically being positive, saying keep the faith. We will have a good season, building a team. Ten Hag will get them gelling, and he's optimistic about that. Dallo forgot he was playing left back for that second goal. So obviously, as you were saying, maybe he should have closed him down, but he was probably.
Well, I think Flex is talking about his position because it's from a set piece, so he's not actually a left back in that. It's more about what zone he is defending.
Andrew saying here, Flex, we are not 100% sure what their jobs are on set pieces, even though we've got set piece coach now. Emma saying here, so it's about communication. I agree with this point, especially for the second goal. You can't have 3 guys standing in the 6-yard box saying, yeah, wow, pass to me and I'm just going to slot this in. We've got Andrew saying here, Maguire Defence League rally coming soon to a town near you. That's obviously a dig at me. He mentioned Maguire because he was playing.
Nice, Emma.
There you go. You have the Maguire agenda in reverse, says Andrew again. And Yabba's got more faith in Maguire than I do with my alarm clock, says Chris. I praised Maguire against Fulham, but he made a mistake, says Bilal. Hydro saying here, Danny was always going to score against us. His 100th goal, it was written in the stars, no doubt about it.
I think he'd be our best striker if he was at the club, Yabba.
Wow. So quicker and better communication and quicker reaction time is necessary. I want to say hi to Tyron as well. He's in the house. You did say you rate Rashford for his defensive work. Tyron said, I don't rate Rashford, but there's a myth that he's not playing for Ten Hag as well. Hydro saying Garnacho should be starting all day over Rashford. Flex Felix talking about redeeming himself. We touched on that as well. Liverpool hit us for 6, says James, so not very optimistic. Hopefully by the end of the week, James, you'll be giving us a score prediction. Well, we'll see. When you're in the pre-match show, I want to see your score prediction, because on Tuesday, you're saying we're going to lose 5-0. Let's see what you say once we get more confidence into you by watching the show every day of the week. All right, that's enough from the comments. Let's talk about, you mentioned players in and out. Bath time, let's talk about the window on the whole, and let's touch on each of the signings in and out this summer. And
can we just pull the plaster off and get to McTominay leaving?
Yeah, all right, let's touch on McTominay. So obviously you like McTominay, you think he's a good player. Looks like Fabrizio Romano's got said here we go. McTominay has already accepted Napoli and their project, so they've obviously sold it to him. Details will be discussed about the payoff. His payoff would similar to Wan-Bissaka. This is the main part to fix and plus personal terms. Club-to-club agreement done with Man United for 30 million plus add-ons, plus a sell-on clause as well. Scott McTominay, good night. Over to you.
Yeah. Well, it's a here we go for McT. It is very, very sad to me, for me. I know he's a player that for some reason divides opinion in the club. I think it's a terrible move getting rid of McTominay, but I don't think it's the club's. I don't think the club are doing it. I mean, 26 million for a player with 1 year left on his contract and a sell-on fee with a couple of add-ons is a pretty good deal, to be honest, for the club. I don't think they wanted him to go. I think that if McTominay had stayed, he would be back in the team fairly quickly, as is always the case. He's always been the player that every manager relies on. And I think that even though he's a divisive player, I think he's one that now that he's left, I think that we should all wish him well and understand that he's one of the few players at the club that has come through the youth ranks and has formed a connection with match-going fans based on energy, work rate, willingness to sacrifice him for the club. And I obviously wish him all the best, but I really think that it's very similar to Danny Welbeck, who we never should have got rid of. That we will miss McTominay, and I just hope that all these gremlins in chat sort of actually, I can't be rude. I can't be rude. I was going to say something really rude then, but they all know what I think of them. So, I mean, what are you thinking, Omondi? Is this a good move, getting McTominay out, bringing UGARTE in?
Well, Mr. B's in the house, so I'll be careful what I say, because he could turn up at my door. He said no division in that club. He's SHIT. Forget what I think, what the guys are saying here. Flex Felix saying we would definitely miss his goals. 10 goals last year. I'll say hi to Mitesh Patel. UGARTE is a ball winner, but we need a guy to control the ball as well. Could we play UGARTE and Casemiro and Mainoo? We're going to come to that. Okay, these are the signings we're going to make it to. Let's go to the McTominay stuff, because that's what's important here. That's what we're touching on. Simon's saying here, we will survive without him. So he's quite happy he's gone. Whereas Yank Talking Smack saying we will regret letting Scotty go. I swear he swears by that. Your Hydro saying good players, good squad player, McSauce. Shame it didn't work out for him at United. It did work out okay. He's done all right. He's got a lot of appearances and he scored a lot of goals. Goodbye, good riddance. Missing you already. We deserve better. Big up, boys. Big up, Bruno. How you doing? Finally, Scott McTominay is going, says mate Bassett. Another midfielder. He plays midfield, so he doesn't appreciate his attributes. Andrew saying here, Scott, mixed feelings. I don't believe he's quality, but he has a role in the squad. So there you go. That's the feelings. Obviously, we know. Oh, here we go. Here's one from Tyrone. Tyrone, you're in the house, so I'm going to read your comments as usual. Tommy should be praised for doing the right thing and finding a new club. Never rated him for his passing, positional play, but loved his hard work, physicality. But we need more than that. So there's 2 positives, 2 negatives that he's talking about his game. I think there's more positives to his game than negatives. And that's why I think he should have stayed. But I understand that probably means, is this the trigger, like the domino effect, him leaving to get UGARTE? Is that what is it basically what's going on here? McTominay crashes the box, leaving midfield exposed and open to quick transitions. No technical ability, can't pass, can't be pressed. So leaving midfield exposed. No technical ability, can't pass, and can't be impressed. There's 4 negatives, not 1 positive.
It's all right. Matty doesn't rate him. I agree. To score 10 goals like at top level football, to be the man that has the only guy that has beaten Rodri at club and country level in the last 4 years or something. I agree. That suggests that there's absolutely no technical ability.
And Danny, how you doing, Danny? Welcome to you, Jenny, saying Scott McTominay to Napoli. We're just discussing that right now. McTominay leaving probably leaves a bad taste in the mouth when you see the likes of Casemiro staying. And Matthew saying, I wonder what attributes you're on about, positive ones. James saying a positive thing is a good price, 30 million for someone who's got a year left on his contract, I imagine. I can't see a Scotch style of play suiting Italy. Scott is better when the games are stretched. So yeah, he sort of Scott McTominay is like one of these players that you either love or hate. It's kind of like the Marmite effect, isn't it? I just think he's a good player, and people say, "Oh, we're never going to win anything with him in the team." But I remember the last title we won wasn't probably not as good as what we got a team as we've got right today. Maybe it would be up for debate. This is why the eye test is important. Sofa score shows as if Leacher played well. Lit Talk, how you doing? I don't understand. Do you understand?
Well, I was saying that I thought that Martinez had a poor game, and apparently Sofa Score said that he played well. So it's important to watch the games to make your own.
I don't think Martinez played well. I think he's got a few issues. Do
you think that they're like fitness issues, like, and that he'll get over them, or is there like a long-term problem with how his physicality or how he plays the game? Or
I think what it is with Martinez, you saw what happened. Just for example, a week before we played Fulham, he was up against Muscle Man, wasn't he? And initially he got burst past the pace, tried to get back, and his pride was a bit hurt. And then the second time around, he managed to clap him, stop the ball, and went out for a goal kick and just got in front and just used his body well. And but after the game, he said something quite revealing. He said, "This is what I said. Nah, you're wrong for that." He said, I got the better of him, or like a bit of so I think that's
ego.
Yeah. So I think sometimes he can be a bit like blinkers on and say, right, I'm going full in for this challenge. And I think he can get chopped. I think he can get cut in half. people just like ready for him. He's coming, chop inside out. He's going to end up being a bit reckless like that. I just think he needs to stay on his feet, not have that mindset where it's battles, I've got to win all the time. He's the butcher. Obviously, he's got his reputation. And I imagine he likes the name Butcher because it gives him an air of like, yeah, I'm the man out here. I'm the guy who's going to deal with things. But you can't win all your battles at centre.
Anthony's got a similar issue. I don't know if you remember.
Talk to me about that then.
Well, against Sevilla, there is a left back who's an Argentine, Acuna.
Okay.
Do you remember he spent the whole game just basically having. No, I'm not implying McTominay is better than
Don't get distracted. I'm just going through.
Yeah, but that has to be addressed. I think Rodri is the best player in the world. So I'm not. I like McTominay, but he's not in that at that level. But like, yeah, Acuna was the left back for Sevilla. Do you remember the game where like De Gea did a lot of mistakes and I think someone didn't pass to Hannibal for a tap in, but he spent the entire game just having a fight with Acuna instead of playing football. And I was also a little bit worried about UGARTE made a comment that was similar, which is like, when we have the ball, we play football, but when we don't have the ball, we fight. And people might like the sound of that, but I know South Americans, like I've lived there, and I don't like that attitude because when you don't have the ball, you can still control the game. You still have to play football. It's not about fighting. And also, Bruno, let me know if I can say who you are, because I know who that is.
Who, Bruno? This guy, Bruno?
That guy, Bruno, with the mod badge. I know who he is, but or she is, but I just want permission before I refer to them.
So, okay, you heard what Bathtime's saying. Can we name you?
No, I can't. Okay, so we just called him Bruno.
Okay, so Johnny Hill's saying here, Martinez issues of fitness currently. To be honest, I'm pretty sure he started majority of games for Argentina, including the final. He will return to a very good level. That's fair. Mitesh, how you doing? Did you notice Martinez being a bit shaky? He might need more seasoned player next to him as his partner, maybe. South American players are very passionate about things like that. And here we go. But again, about having a good partnership, that would help, leadership, communication, that sort of thing. Just any more?
This is a good one.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Tap it up for me. Oh, that one. I was just about to type that. Yeah. Nice. 41 in the chat. Please give a like and subscribe. And that's from the boss man, the Nando's killer. It's Solo. Do you know what Solo?
Nando's killer. That sounds like a rubbish serial killer.
You know what? So 3 big men walk in, like me, Mr. B, and Errol. Cool. We're looking cool. We walk in. Like, yeah. We go to order our food. And I'm like, she said, how do you want your chicken? I said, hot. Like that. And Mr. B, same thing. Yeah, hot chicken, whatever. And Errol Solo walks up. And he says, lemon and herb, please. I was like, oh, my God. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? He's born in Jamaica. He's born around bonnet peppers and things like that. You want lemon and herb burger.
Are you Nando shaming the founder
of
this channel?
Yes, I am. I had my mushy peas and my broccoli side order and hot chicken, and he's eating a lemon. Was it lemon and herb or lemon and thing? Anyway,
Nando's is so crazy. I remember the first time I went, I couldn't believe I had to set my own table at a restaurant.
Yeah,
it's so weird. Like, it's like I think in the program Breaking Bad, there's a pizza shop, and their gimmick is they don't cut the pizza for you. And I just don't understand why you would do that. If you go to a restaurant, I don't expect to set my own plate. But yeah, just to finish on Martinez, I think that was it Mitesh? Forgive me if I've said your name wrong. It was Mitesh. My issue with Martinez, and I've said this for a very, very long time, is I think Martinez is an excellent centre back in a deep block. Okay. I think he's really good at like clamping his man, getting a toe across, having a bit of argy-bargy. But when the ball is further up the pitch and we're playing higher, I think I think that he's just not suited to it at all. And one of the things that has really annoyed me about Martinez's performance against Brighton is against Fulham. He was perfectly positioned to cut out a cutback and knock it out in the box. He didn't do that against Brighton, and I think that that's a real kind of misunderstanding of space and his job. And I don't think that he has played a particularly good game for United, with the exception of the FA Cup final where we were very deep. That's been his best game in about 2 years, that FA Cup final, and I'm really concerned about him because he is a player. I would personally prefer our back line to have De Ligt and Maguire in it than to have Martinez in it at the moment.
Okay, I'm just going to read something. This is on the lips of everyone right now. Hot stuff like Nando's chicken. It's Sterling. I mean, look, how do you feel? First of all, Sterling got left out of the squad. And then he's like talking to the club, saying, what's going on here? My name is Raheem Sterling. Look at my caps. Look at my league titles. And it's like, nah, they've left him out. So what's going on with this deal? I'm just reading something here. Man United have reportedly opened talks with Raheem Sterling over a sensational move to bring former England international, to Old Trafford. Sterling has been forced out by Chelsea this summer, having fallen down a pecking order at Stamford Bridge under the new boss. Reports earlier this week suggested that both Villa and Juve were potentially destinations for the veteran forward. But now a well-sourced report from the Telegraph and Dan Ashworth, your guy, has claimed that United have been in contact with Sterling's camp over a late deal. And it's interesting here because they're saying here United are reportedly looking to make the most unusual situation at Chelsea and will try to sign Sterling for free whilst allowing Jadon Sancho to go the other way. United sporting director Dan Ashworth, I'm saying it twice, has been in discussions with intermediates and believes a deal can be struck in the next few days. And obviously the deadline's on Friday. Wow. I mean, this is a massive talking point. Guys in the comments, what do you think about this? Is it Sterling? You want Sterling into this club? I never considered this, but it's under consideration. Bath time. Over to you.
I don't know what to think, Yabba, about this. I think that Sterling at 25, 26 was genuinely one of Europe's best forwards when he was playing for Manchester City. In terms of like a player that's played for Liverpool and Manchester City, I'd have bitten your hand off if we could have got Gundogan in as a player. I probably, to be honest, would have taken Cancelo as well and played him at right wing. So I understand where we are as a football club. I'm not too against getting ex-rival players in. I don't want to, but I'm not against it. But with Sterling, we've got Rashford and Garnacho for that side. I think that both of those players have had far better last 3 years than Sterling has. I'm not sure about Sterling's attitude. He seems to be extremely disliked at every ex-club that he's been at. He'll be on pretty big wages. There's no doubt to me that it's a gamble, but Sterling on top form, would I take him? I don't think so. I think it's a bad move because if it doesn't go right, what do? We've just got another sort of Eriksen, Casemiro, big name player on decent wages that we can't get rid of. And Ashworth, like Tyrone, you'll never dislike him more than me. Like you're not a full-time hater like I am. But Ashworth will love him from the England setup. That's where they'll know him from. But I still want a proper number 6. I think that all these other kind of signings are window dressing. I don't think that getting Raheem Sterling in like sort of guarantees us 75 goals or 4th place or whatever people see as a sort of as their success for this season. But what would is a proper number 6, and UGARTE ain't no proper number 6. So why haven't we got that in? Is this just but is this just because they hate Sancho so much that they're willing to, cut their nose to spite their face to get him out of the club?
I think it's opportunity knocks. You don't want to miss out on an England international with that much experience. who's won Premiership titles as well, and you have to consider it. I understand all they're saying here is under consideration. You can't let someone like Sterling leave for free, or things happen in football, don't they? We never expected this, but sometimes when something comes up, so alarm goes off, get to the meeting table. Sterling might be available. Let's consider this. What they're considering the options. You can't be a smart club without actually discussing it, and I think it's worthy of a discussion. I would say no. You're saying no. Like Family Fortunes. We asked 100 people, would you take Sterling as a club? And it would be
99 said no. Dan Ashworth said yes.
Dan Ashworth would be the only one. Even everyone in the comments sort of kind of saying no as well, I'm sure. What do you think, guys, in the comments about this Sterling deal? Is it a no-no for you? That Sterling on 350 grand a week to come to Man United? Would it really? Do we need him? That are we desperate for him? Is he really going to make a difference? Rivere saying here, we need goals. Will Sterling provide goals?
That's true.
I don't know. I think Sterling, like, when he was young, I used to rate him. I thought, yeah, he could take people on and thing, but he's not got the hardest shot. His goals at Man City were usually cutbacks, finishing cutbacks on the touch, on the goal line. Nothing's flash where he's banging them in from outside the box or cutting in onto his right foot and curling it into the net. He's just busy and gets on the end of things, and sometimes even misses stuff. So I'm not sure.
Let's do it differently, Yabba. Do you think he improves our press over Rashford and Garnacho on that left wing?
I haven't seen him lately. I don't watch Chelsea so much.
As a striker, which of those three wide players, Garnacho, Rashford, and Sterling, would you prefer to play with?
Well, the thing is now, I'm going to be biased. I'm just thinking about, I think he's too old. He's on too much wage. So that's already overriding any kind of logic about his footballing ability and everything else. And it is biased. I'm being unfair, but take that away. If he was at a club and he's just free and he's there and he's on form and he's motivated, he's proven more than Rashford, I think, over his Premiership career. I think he's proven more than Garnacho. Obviously, he's only just starting out, and Ahmad. So he's a proven player. And at England international, when we talking about a few years ago, when it was Euros in England, he was a starting guy, wide guy, and linked up really well. Harry Kane dropped off like Xerxes would, and it was Sterling and Saka getting in behind, causing a lot of havoc. And I really thought he was,
It's a really good point. That's a really good point. The false nine is causing problems for our players, and Sancho does understand how to play with a false nine. Like,
that example with Harry Kane, and in Euros he was effective. There's not recent Euros, the one before, where we got
the home one in England.
Oh, we got to find off both ones. Yeah, the home one. I thought he was really effective and scaring a lot of teams.
Yeah,
he was running, dribbling, movement off the ball. It's the off the ball stuff that he does really well. Pep has taught him how to get on the end of things and actually get to the back post and finish things off. He's always looking for that. So if we get that motivated player, yes, but we're based on he's coming from Chelsea, he's ex-Liverpool. I think I'm influenced by this stuff. And he's 29 years old. And do we need someone like that? Does he tick our boxes? I'm like, no.
You think he's a good character?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of BS about him. There was obviously a story. He got a tattoo of a gun or something on his leg, and that was like a big overreaction from the media. I think, well, what's the big idea? So what? I'm not. There's a story about his dad, obviously, and things like that. I think he's good. He's a family man. You don't hear any scandals about him cheating on his missus. He's got kids. I've never heard anything negative about him. He's from my area as well. He's from like Northwest London. Really top guy, gives back to the community. I've got no issues with Raheem Sterling like that. I don't think there is any issues. Anyone's got something to say about it, let me know what it is. I don't know. And I think there's a bit of prejudice as well involved, as always with certain black players. I think there's always going to be that. I just think that he would maybe improve us if he's motivated and fit, but I just don't think, because I haven't had much time to ponder and go over it, I'm just a bit unsure. That's all.
I'm warming to it, to be honest. The thing is, though, is that if Sterling comes in and does well, What does it mean for Rashford?
Simply, Rashford, he needs that. Rashford needs that. He needs someone to give him a kick up the backside to perform. You said the other day, I don't know who you're referring to, but you said sometimes competition is good. That's the best way to get the best out of players.
Always the best way.
Yeah, so I think that'd be good for him.
Maybe it's not the worst thing in the world, because I think it's just Johnny Evans that has won a Premier League in our squad, and it's always and like Rashford has won. Sorry, Sterling has won leagues and cups, and you've got to think that. And also, I think that I can't really remember why people don't like him and so on. Like I'll just take it as read that it's a racial thing, I suppose. But I think he's dealt with it pretty well. So I think he's a strong character. He played his best football at City, which is the same sort of area. I think he provides competition to Rashford, and he might be someone that Garnacho can look as a role model for, because he's been there and done it. He's obviously been able to cope with moving from Liverpool to City. Maybe actually it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's his age, his salary, and the fact that he played so much football as a young boy that, like, he might be biologically 29, but physiologically, I think you got to think that he's sort of like 34 for a winger or something like that. I don't know what his injury record is, but if he comes with something to prove, and he understands that he starts off as a squad player, maybe it's not the worst signing, because it does know how to play with false nines. I do think he'll create more for forwards, and I think that he probably will be a very good presser, just based off a Pep system and putting that pressure on the ball high up the pitch.
Just quickly, I want to say big up to Kate Cadet. He's asking, could the Kate Cadet go and watch the show from the beginning? We asked Bath Time, because we haven't seen Bath Time, being away, about the Brighton issues, the game, and we covered that for a good 20 minutes maybe. So go and rewind the show, not now, but afterwards, and you'll see what Bath Time really has to say. Just on this Sterling issue, I mean, it's a good talking point. Get Sterling, get ready. Sterling will be displayed as a Man United player on Friday. That's Revere. Just say no to drugs. I mean Sterling, says DK Wilson. Where's DK Wilson from, Bath Time?
He is from the fighting town of Notre Dame. If that is a town, it is now. Okay. Bonjour.
Kieran saying, I don't really care. I don't really want him anywhere near the club. Why, Kieran? Why? Also, says Johnny Hill, I don't want us to be a club that tries to rejuvenate players' careers. Arteta does that, and they've won nothing. Also, knowing Ten Hag, he'd start Rashford over Sterling. So yuck from him. Tyra's saying Sterling has only looked good for Man City. At Liverpool, he was okay. He was very good. At Chelsea, he's been abysmal. It will ruin our transfer window if he comes in. Simon Warner saying here, I prefer Tony over Sterling. What else we got here? No players over 30 years old, says Lucky Singh. Obviously, we've got this rule about age as well. Right-wing media do not like it when a black player calls something
out. They're biased.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
Did John Barnes get in a fight with Sterling? I think he did. I think they had a public dispute about it all.
Okay, so Sterling signing for Man United would be a disaster. Alex Sanchez, that's a good point, actually. Alex Sanchez was firing though when we bought him. Sterling's not been at the best. We don't need players who bring a Zimmer frame at that age, says Simon. Survival to fittest, he said. 33 likes. Wow. It's really popular show. We've got 40 people watching right now.
Can we get 39 likes to honour McTominay, please?
Yeah. Sterling was a key part of the City side, says Andrew. And,
what is this? Look at what on earth is this? What, 50 minutes into the show? It's Botswana Pappy. Hello, sir.
Tobago, 200-meter Olympic world champion. Respect to Tobago.
Yes. You know, he made history in the Olympics, and the first African to win a gold medal in a 200-meter sprint. So Botswana is so proud right now. The whole of Africa is proud of Teboho, you know. So yeah, I'm so happy that you know about him and you are supporting. So
I have I've got 80,000 people on a track and field group,
ooh,
and I'm a
okay,
big track and field athletics fan. I know everything about athletics, and
amazing.
we have our own channel on athletics as well. Just want to say, Botswana, what is going on in Botswana? That's creating all these great athletes over the years. Got the 400-meter runner from a few years ago. You got silver to Christina Orohogu. You got the
Yeah,
200-meter, 400-meter guy. I forget his name.
Glory Dube.
Who used to
Glory
do
Dube.
press-ups after the race.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, yes.
and your relay team. You've got good athletes all around.
We,
What's going on in Botswana? Because you're landlocked and there's a lot of desert there. And what's
I
the
know.
facilities like? How come you're getting so many athletes? And why aren't you in the relay team as well?
Because I'll be stuck on YouTube, fam, you know?
And
No,
before you forget all that, we discussed that another time. Just tell us
yeah.
about Football Power Hour and what you do, because some people, we obviously familiar to us, but just let us, people that don't know you, tell
Yeah,
us.
so I'm you know, my name is Botswana Papi. I have a YouTube channel, Football Power Hour, and like I obviously, like, I'm a big Manchester United fan, and I cover sometimes not even just Manchester United games. We do a lot of watch-alongs, a lot of, like, you know. No, Stephanie, I'm not eating at this very moment, but that's in the works. So I eat on stream. I'm notoriously known to eat and stream as well. This is how it goes. Yeah, I'm a big fan of just differences of an opinion in football. I love hearing fans with different perspectives, and I love just the fact that the power of football and how it's able to bring people from different parts of the world and walks of life. And I'm a old friend of the Man United agenda, by the way. I used to do a lot of watch-alongs with Mr. B, and I've been missing this place, so I had to
You're
show.
home, Happy. You've come
Yeah,
back. You've come back home. Now, look,
yeah.
we're about to discuss UGARTE. So maybe it would be precedent for you to tell us what you're thinking about the UGARTE signing and what you think the first choice midfield is going to be.
Yeah, with Ugarte is a signing that really, really excites me. I was a fan of Ugarte before he went to PSG. I actually was, I was hoping that we would lend his signature. So back then, and I just for the base, like everybody knows he's a destroyer. Everybody knows his high tackling rate, and I really, 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 really think that's what we need. He'd be the perfect partner to yes, I'll give you the midfield triangle double A, don't worry. Ugarte will be the perfect partner to Kobe Maino, and actually there's even some midfield combinations that we may not be foreseeing right now, but like, say, even Collier and Ugarte, say in a Carabao Cup game, or the first couple of rounds of FA Cup games, we might see some really, really good chemistry building between yes, we deserve better. I've also said go Man United, and it has followed me. That is a phrase that has been following me the last couple of weeks. So anyway, so Ugarte is somebody that I feel like can really, really, really be paramount to us, potentially signing of the season for us. And I there's obviously parts of his game that obviously need to develop, like his progressive passing. Because for now I foresee him as just like the ball thief, and then he'll find somebody who's closer to him, who's a Man United player, maybe whether it means dropping Bruno a little bit down, or like Kobe coming to pick up the ball next to him, because all he has to do is look for the safe pass and then let the ball the adventurous more risk averse passes progress the ball to the further up the pitch. So Oh, look at that graph. That's exactly you see how all that really the blue right there. That's what I feel like that's the next steps for him, especially the passing is the thing that I really wanna see Ugarte improve. I love the fact that he's a young player and yeah, he has a bright future ahead of him, my
Um,
midfield combination is the obvious Bruno, Maino, and Ugarte. It's the triangle, the Ten Hag golden triangle that he has to start using this season. Pardon me.
do these stats worry you at all from the Champions League, though, Pappy?
No, so I always look at this like it's like a puzzle. You gotta find somebody who complements who brings a skill set that complements what you already have. And right now you can just see how his interceptions are so exceptional. Obviously, as I mentioned, the progressive passes, right? That it's kind of on the lower side, but that is something that I feel like can develop with time. He's only 23 years old. By 26 we can see that red right there being green. It's possible.
You're
There's
too positive, man. I've got two of you on tonight, like the positive brothers.
Darius, no, I really feel like Ugarte is going to be more. People always also mention that, oh well, he's not even a goal threat from deep, which is true, which is very true. But all these things is elements of his game that he has to develop. There's very rare play. It's rare to find a player who has skill sets that are all well rounded and young and good in the market. So you gotta find somebody with things that you already know you need, and then with things that you're going to improve. So Ugarte comes in perfectly to slot in there in the Man United midfield.
Wow, I really like that. You're not reading from a script, are you? Because that was fantastic.
No, mate.
Oh, good, very good. You're not showing your beautiful face today, but it's okay. It's okay. Are you going to be a regular with us going forward?
I would love to be.
More views like that for sure.
Yeah. I'd love
a swap, aren't we, Pappy? I'm going to go on your channel a bit more, and you're going to come on ours a little bit.
Done. Here we go. Okay.
Sí. Vamos a hablar en español también, ¿no?
Swap
the window, just.
Sí, puedo hablar español, podemos hablar español y hablar de fútbol.
Entonces, pues, ahora estás escuchando a la Agenda Manchester United con Darius Football Power Hour y Marco Forbes.
Eso.
Sí. ¿Qué?
Right, yeah. What are you thinking about Ugarte?
I think it's wonderful what Pappy said about the skill set. You've obviously ticking the box what we need. So we require someone who could intercept the ball and come in and lock things up. That's exactly what he does. That's what it says on the tin. That's what we'll be getting. I'm just reading here. Here we go. If you don't know. Ugarte to Man United. Here we go. Deal has been sealed between clubs and personal terms were already agreed in July. 50 million. I don't mind that. It's a specialist position, which does not really undervalued. When you said earlier that Rodri is the best player in the world, and it's a specialist position that people don't really get to really understand. They don't get the glory. They just tick things over for the club. So package of 50 million plus 10 million add-ons or something. Ugarte will travel to Manchester as he only wanted United, and United only wanted him. I think the deal is really good because we look at our transfer window. We've targeted our guys, and we've got the guys that we wanted. Whereas in the past, we've targeted one guy, they slapped us, said, nah, we don't want you. We've gone to the next guy, and ended up with Casemiro or ended up with someone else that we didn't really want. It hadn't worked out. So I'm very positive in the transfer market. Let's see what Ugarte's got. Pappy's got more experience than me, more qualified to talk about him. He's obviously seen him play in the leagues. I haven't seen him play that much in Portugal or the Champions League or for PSG. So I'm interested to see what he does for us at Man United. But I'm all for it based on the confidence gained from previous transfers and the scouting that's going on. So I'm backing that, and hopefully it'll be a good signing for us.
I'm a bit worried.
What's worrying you? That's fine.
Height. Like, He's not very good winning the ball aerially, which is something that's so important in the Premier League. Good one, Andrew. My English is awful. But like, I think that the one hope I have for him is Javi Mascherano. Mascherano was dreadful statistically as a footballer, but he was brilliant on a football pitch. I know he played for two clubs that we should all hate in Liverpool and Barcelona, because Barcelona are just a Spanish Liverpool, in my opinion. Okay. But anyway, I think that like the issue with UGARTE is that I say this all the time. The hardest thing in football is doing stuff in the final third. From what we've seen at PSG, he's not capable of doing that. Players like Rodri and Rice can score goals, assist, do all of that. UGARTE can't really do that up the pitch. But my concern is that with having a defensive midfielder who can't head the ball and a 5'7" centre back, where are we going to protect ourselves from set pieces? And we've already seen Brighton score one set piece against us and hit the bar with the others. Will we have to get someone like Rasmus Højlund to come in as a striker simply because he might be better at defending set pieces than Xerxes, for example? I think that without having Casemiro in the team and without having McTominay in the team, we're in serious danger of getting bullied physically in our box. But on the plus side, UGARTE might be someone that is the final jigsaw in the press. I suspect he's better at getting on the inside than any of our midfielders at the moment. He's a specialist at it. And we've seen that our press has looked pretty good, but we just haven't refined it, as it were. Maybe UGARTE is the guy that comes in and refines it. We start getting loads of chances from the press, and we just begin to outscore people. And I'd be pretty happy with that. But you have to remember, it's a new league he's coming into. And it also wouldn't surprise me if we see an Anthony where he does start at Liverpool. Like Anthony came in after 3 or 4 days, started at Arsenal and scored a goal. So it'll be interesting what we get, but I would really love us to sell Lindelof this week and get in a more Sander Berg style number 6 that's a bit stronger physically and is better at duels.
Okay, good stuff, guys. So we've done an hour so far. It's been that's usually our cut-off point. There's guys 32 in the comments. Would you press the like button for us and for Pappy, because Pappy's back on the scene?
That Botswana time.
Yeah.
Not 50 minutes late.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, we're gonna sign out, guys. But yeah, so much going on this week.
Just before we go on Monday, we've got a big week coming up. We're gonna preview the Liverpool game, but once again, with all the work that Mr. B is putting in, I'd like you all to go and support him on Saeed TV a little bit later, and Saeed's a friend of the channel. He's hit 100k, so say congratulations and put it all on Mr. B. He's the reason that he's got over 100k. But this Sunday we're doing a big watch along, and we'd love it if so many of you could come and join to sort of show that the work that Mr. B has put in has been worth it. And to all the new people, it's an absolute delight to see you here. So thank you for your likes and for your time.
Yeah, and I just to reiterate that as well. So Mr. B is going on tonight, and we're part of this sort of WhatsApp group chat, so that gives the link and everything to go on the show. And all the guests on the show tonight will be saying Ten Hag out, being very negative about the loss against Brighton and all this kind of thing. And Mr. B said he's going to go on there and defend the manager. So that will be heated. So check it out, Saeed TV, and again, like you said, wish him congratulations for 100k. Are you a Ten Hag out after 2 games? Pappy, just quickly summarize how you feel about transfers, performance so far this season, and obviously you've got Liverpool coming up. Are you confident?
Yes, well, so 1 win, 1 loss is not going to shake my stance on Ten Hag. Right now, I just feel like we need to know that this is going to be a long season, and not long in the sense that like we're not gonna enjoy it. There'll be moments, there'll be games that we lose, there'll be games that we're supposed to win and lose. It's just how the game works, you know. These always three outcomes in a league game: win or you lose or you draw. And this last game that we just played versus Brighton, it was just one of those moments where we lost, and it can be a big wake up call for the team. So even if we lose versus Liverpool, I will still not change my stance, because I really feel like it's important to at least have a reasonable sample size after the manager gets his players, and he has gotten, we've boosted the attack, we've boosted the midfield and the defense, and the one thing that I require from him is to show us the clear direction of like what is his philosophy, what is his identity, and how he wants his team to play. We have to allow the players to have a little bit of time to gel as well. So there is all those things to consider, and I really, really feel like we just need to have minimum 10 to 15 league games for us to be able to say, hey, let's evaluate where we're going. If it's really like L after L after L, then something has to be done, you know, because a manager can lose a dressing room. So we just have to be honest with ourselves and make sure that we have a little bit of patience, and the results will come. I'm very, very hopeful. I feel like with this UGARTE signing, top four charge has to happen. A top four charge has to happen, and potentially one other up. You know, so that's sort of like where I am with Eric Ten Hag and the squad at this moment. Big, big, big props goes to Ineos for the way they've done business. We are sell on clause FC or buyback clause FC. I just love that a lot of the potential that we've sold, we have not just, you know, dumped it. It's more like we want to get a little bit more value from the players that we have, and I applaud Ineos for all the work that they've done so far. So right now, UGARTE is in. We're running. Ten Hag is running out of excuses, and we need to see some proper progress. That's where I am with it.
Once again, beautifully, Pappy. Big time, big up bath time to you as well. We're going to sign out now. Like we said, we'll be back 9 o'clock tomorrow. Dora's joining us. She's been away, and we'll be asking her about her adventures since we last seen her, and see how she feels about the Brighton game as well and the transfers. And you never know, Sterling might be lining up against Liverpool come Sunday. Who knows? You just don't know what's going on with the transfers anymore. We're signing up with Pappy again. We know what that came out of the blue. So yeah, you just don't know how things go before the window shuts down. But thanks again, Bath Time. If you want to know Bath Time's views on the Brighton game, go back to the start of the show, and make sure if you want to ask any questions, guys, don't forget after the show, jump on the comments on the YouTube channel and ask questions or have a little rant or whatever. And one of us, Bath Time, myself, even Pappy and Mr. B and Dora will respond to you guys.
And on Twitter as well. Follow the Manchester United agenda on Twitter. But yeah, great stuff.
All right, don't forget, go and tune into Mr. B, Side TV. Go and support Mr. B. Tell him that you've come from the Man United agenda, and let him know that you got his back. Good night, guys. God bless, and we'll see you tomorrow.